Yo, I thought I'd just come on and talk about some stuff that has happened in the past couple of days and just have like my pack openings play in the background so that y'all could see what I got going on and what I plan on doing in the future. So basically what the plan was I was going to level up all of my characters to 170 and get the gear for them, of course. Now, what I really was going to do was I was just going to level up my Storm and then just open the packs on him. But if you can see from the footage, if I have it up here and it's linked up with how I'm speaking, right? You can see that if I open these packs just on my Storm alone, I'm not going to get spell limits for my other schools. So basically what that means is once I get everything that I need for my Storm on this pack specifically, and I think the pack that I'm opening right now is the Krokotopia pack, something like that. I think that's what it's the pack that basically came from Selenopoulos. Once I open up all those packs on my Storm, then I'm gonna have to swap to another school and start opening packs on them until they get their gear. Not that the Selenopoulos spells in of themselves really require spell limits, but that's just so that I don't have to think about it too hard in case I want to actually have the spell limits for my other schools. Just something like that. I don't know. If I'm being honest with y'all, I really don't even know what packs are like the best specifically, because I'll end up just looking and wasting so much time in the footage just looking over and comparing gear because I don't know what's the best. Now, I've heard that the Reaver hat and boots is the best, and then Crying Sky Raid or was it the Polaris Raid? The Polaris Raid, I think, has the best robe. And then the Reaver set has the best ring and a theme. And then the wand, I don't even know. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't know where that is. So y'all gonna have to let me know in the comment section what is the best wand for PvE. I'm looking for PvE stuff specifically. For PvP, I don't really think I want to get back into it right now. So I don't really care about PvP gear. I mean, maybe if I do, I'll probably make a video on that. And if I make a video on PvP stuff, I'm gonna have to revive my guild. And I don't know. Reviving the guild is gonna be something interesting because it's like it's still gonna be the same problem that I had in the past. Your main issue with making a guild is making sure that other people are able to run with you. Now, they tried to mitigate that with this next raid, but I don't even know what this next raid drops that would make people want to do it in the first place. Not saying that they should add anything that would make people want to do it in the first place, because that would mean you'd have to open, you know what I'm saying, you'd have to open up some more packs. Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Basically, what I was doing was I was opening up the packs on my Storm, and then I was going to switch to another school. But my Storm is the only one that's 170 on my main account right now. So I have to go ahead and level up all my other characters. And here's the thing with that. Now, I used to be a PvP fanatic, okay? The only thing I cared about was getting at least one person through the entire new world, so that way I could just farm for it, and which would usually be my offensive schools. Because some people, I don't know, some people I guess people just like playing on support schools. But when I come in there, man, I'm ready to hit. I'm trying to get that bit up. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get that bit up. So I'll mainly level up on like my Fire or my Storm, and then I'll farm on them because for me, it just seemed to be quicker. And then I level up my characters just to 170, the rest of them just to 170, or to the max level at the time, of course, right? And then I would just swap the gear from my Storm and my Fire over to them, and then I wouldn't have to quest anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't too much care about the quest, and I just wanted the PvP on God. But since I am not gonna be doing that anymore, right? And because I've been doing it for so long, those characters that have finished the world, they get to level up and quest a lot quicker. But the rest of my characters, they still gotta finish Novus and the new world and Selenopoulos. So that's finna be hell, bro. From these pack openings, man, well, from this pack that I was opening after this, the Krokotopia, I switched over to the Motorist. I switched over to the Motorist Pack because in that one, I don't have to worry about spell limits. I can just get specifically what I need for every school on one character. So I was just gonna spin the packs on my Storm and get all the roads for all my schools. So pretty much now I'm just gonna, after I get all my roads from this pack, I'm gonna go swap over to any of my other characters and then just level them up all the way throughout. I'm not going to be stopping them once I get to 170. I'm going to keep questing until all my questing stuff is done, and then afterwards, I'm going to do spell weaving. Now, for my spell weaving, I'm planning on doing every school for every school. Does that make any sense? So basically, if I'm spell weaving on Storm, like on my Storm character, I'm going to be doing spell weaving for Fire, Myth, and all that on that same Storm Wizard. Main reason why is because if I do decide to get into PvP, which is, I don't know, I really like PvP, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be able to switch schools on a whim. Like, I'll be able to switch my weaving schools on a whim if I feel like doing that. Main thing is, I like to give myself options. You know what I'm saying? I like to give myself options. So that's going to be the play. But I have to get everybody to 170 first. And speaking of this quest and stuff, I just finished, like, when I started opening these packs, I literally just finished Selenopoulos. And afterwards, you also probably might see me switch over to my death and start opening packs on her. She's on my alt account. She's supposed to be on my main, but I had to get spellements, and I'm not going to explain that. Selenopoulos' question was actually very, very interesting, or more specifically, the story. Now, like I told y'all, I mainly just skip through the dialogue. I never take this game slow. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But I never take this game slow. I normally rush through everything. But as I was coming towards the end of Selenopoulos, when it actually came out, I was watching other people play it. I watched Blaze and Sauce play it. Now, I couldn't sit through Sauce's playthrough because he talk a lot, but that makes sense. He's a streamer. He kind of got to do that. And with Blaze, I guess people are just more okay with him not talking so much during his streams, which I resonated with a lot more with this Selenopoulos stuff, so I just ended up watching his stuff. But as I was watching it, I was listening to the dialogue with him, and I ain't gonna lie, man, apparently it's a shorty in EB, and she, you know what I'm saying, she not doing too hot. Now, I don't know what she got going on, but I just find that pretty interesting. The fact that we got another person that's like us, that's going through the spiral, and she basically having it tough. Like, you know what I'm saying, we're basically carrying everybody on our shoulders. We're basically the MVP, but she was going through the trenches for real. She finna be a trenches baby. That's crazy. So I wonder what she gonna be like. Before I end this video, I also want to go over some comments that I got in my previous video that I just wanted to respond to, that I didn't really respond to with comments. So one person said, the problem I'm having is that they should completely separate other stuff from spellements when it comes to these packs. Because if somebody's choosing to not grind for certain spellements, it's harder to get them when those spellements come with other things in a specific pack. Like, there'll be gear and then jewels and all that stuff combined in one pack with the spellements that you want. And I am indifferent. I'm not gonna lie. The main reason I'm indifferent is because I just don't know how it would work per se. Would it make them more money to have spellements split up from packs with just gear? Or would you rather have it all in one and have you keep going back to just one pack specifically? And not to mention, you can always just justify the price that you have. Like, cause with this Krokotopia pack, bro, they bit it got down $5.99 on him, motherfucker. And then with the Marleybone pack, I think it's $3.99 because it just don't have spellements like that. But with these spellements, bro, they can tax you for anything, bro. They can say $5.99, $6.99, shit, $1,000, bro. Like, y'all niggas see through my goddamn footage, right? They keep taxing me trying to get me to buy backpack space. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought you only had to buy backpack space once. Wow. I must have been dumb as hell because no, you have to continue. You can keep buying them over and over. What's weird though is they don't stack. They don't carry over. So if I buy it on my Storm, it's a scam because I won't have it on my other characters, which is crazy because all of us share a bank. So why the hell is my backpack not connected with all my other wizards if I buy backpack expansion on one wizard? It's crazy. But technically it would make sense because of what I told y'all earlier. I normally farm on my Storm or my Fire. So I could technically just buy expanding backpack and bank space on them because I would normally just farm on them. But they're normally also the first people that I open packs on. So if I open packs on them and I find out that it's school lock spellements, then I'm gonna have another problem because that means that I have to level up everybody else just to get what I need. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, That's not good. But I just can't say. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But if I had to choose, I would say I don't think they really need to split them up. It is what it is. I also seen somebody say that nobody talks about this, but the best thing that I have to give them kudos for is the fact that they weakened the spells just to sell you spell limits. Basically, they made every spell weaker so that they could sell you spell limits that you have to get just to make them do what they used to do before, or slightly better. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, that's brilliant. Like I said, bro, KingsIsle is making a lot of money, and I love that for them. I love it for them, but I hate it for myself. Why do I need to have min-max stats? Why do I need them? I don't really know. I don't know. Somebody said this in my comments. It was like, bro, KingsIsle got y'all whipped, you know what I'm saying? They got y'all buying all this shit. And you know what I'm saying? They got it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But the reason I gave them is because I just like to cast my 2-pip Tempest for 10 bands. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see that happen one day on God. One thing I'll never be okay with, and I told y'all this in my previous video, is this membership system. I despise it. Now, you could say you're already getting your value out of just being able to play hours upon hours of gameplay and all of that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you goddamn right. But at the same time, I'm still paying monthly, and you have something called member benefits. They were not originally elixirs. You can't put them in the Scroll of Fortune and swear to Christ that these were originally supposed to be elixirs when they were not. They're member benefits. Why are my member benefits not member benefiting? I'm not benefiting from my membership. Like, there's no way I have to sit here and play at a specific time to get these benefits, especially when I can get fried when I use them anyway. If I'm pet hatching and there's double pet XP, I can get cooked just by not manifesting the talent that I wanted. If it's double gardening, if my plants aren't near elder by the time it comes along, I'm gonna miss out on the double rewards for double gardening. Like, what? If it's double reagents, there are gonna be other people farming with me, and I'm not gonna be able to get all the reagents that I would preferably desire, because there's only about a few per realm, and there's a fucking 60-second cooldown to switch realms. Like, what the helly? And I can go on and on about the rest of these member benefits. And some of them I don't even what, double animus? But what? If you're gonna do this little, your member benefits, you know what I'm saying, they can be an elixir for it, then nigga, put them in the crown shop. Like, what? The last comment I want to talk about is somebody asked me, why do you have 8 characters? Why not just focus on one? It's like doing 8 times the work. And the main reason why is because I used to PvP. I used to make videos on PvP. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't keep playing the same damn school over and over for my videos. That doesn't make any sense, because it's not interesting for me. I want to be able to spice it up for myself, because the videos that I make videos that I would want to watch for myself. So if I'm able to spice it up and just change it between all 7 schools and do PvP on all 7 schools, I think that that's super interesting. Not to mention, I used to stream, and me having 7 schools mean I could just switch it up in between stream, keep my stream interesting. So I had all 7 of them bitches, yes sir. And whenever I needed the quest, I had a spare storm on my alt. But then when the Spellament update came out, which, oh man, I transferred one of my maxes to my alt account. And that's how I ended up with 8 max wizards somehow. I really don't know how I don't know how I did. I know for sure I made an alt to help myself quest. And then once I transferred my death over to my alt, I technically didn't need to keep using it anymore. Does that make any sense? But I kept using it anyway until this update. Now in this update, I'm not going to use my storm anymore. I'm just going to use all 7 of my normal wizards. So that way, my alt is not really an alt. It's just an extension of my main account, because I can't get that girl back over here. I can't get that girl back up. Because for some reason, y'all already know how KingsIsle works, bro. They said you can only transfer a character between accounts once. And y'all already know I can't be an exception, because if I'm an exception, then that means that everybody else will have to be an exception. And they're never going to do that. So I can't transfer my death back over to my main. So now I have 2 accounts. So I'm just not going to use my storm anymore. So it's just all 7 schools. And that storm, she did us justice because she also had full couch potatoes and a good farm. So I just transferred that over to my death, and I'm in the process of raising her up on the gardening. So once she gets the gardening, then that account is going to be good. Like, you know what I'm saying? She able to get whatever she needs on her own. She got a garden, she can fish, and all that stuff.